So we're gonna draw a mermaid. So if you grab any pencil you have, and then we're also gonna end up using just like a black pen or whatever color you want. And so I'm gonna start off with drawing just the general like shape and movement of the body that I want. So first I'm just gonna draw a circle, well, more like an oval actually. And then I'm gonna just draw an angled line and then intersect it with a horizontal line just below halfway, so it's a little more towards the bottom half. And then I'm going to continue this line ever so slightly down, and then I'm going to draw a line out, and that will act as our shoulder guideline. If you want, you can put like little circles as like the little pivot joint points. And then I'm gonna have her put her arm over her head, draw another joint, so that'll be the elbow eventually, and then up, and then put a joint for the wrist, and then kind of like a weird little diamond shape, which will eventually be the hand. And that's a little big, but we're not gonna worry about that. It's just the guideline. And then I'm gonna have her actually have her arm go out for her left arm. So I'm going to draw that, and then a circle, and then another line, a circle, and then another odd little diamond shape. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're just drawing the guidelines for our mermaid when we draw on the actual form of it. So then I want her to curve out. So that is the chest and waist area, and then you're going to draw another horizontal line, and then these two little joints will be kind of like the hip points. And so then, because a mermaid has only one fin or one tail, we're just gonna kind of curve a shape. Normally you would have these guys have two separate points for your legs, but since mermaids don't have legs, you're just gonna curve up, and then I'm just gonna put a point here just for where I want the fin to start, but I'm not gonna draw that. So now we're gonna go back here, and I'm gonna work on framing the face of what kind of shape I want, so you can give her a strong jawline or just more of a pointed chin. And then a little bit, about quarter way, I'm just going to draw kind of what would be a hairline. And then, let's see, should they have bangs? I'm going to give them like side swept, kind of Ariel-esque bangs. So I'm not going to fill in all of the hair detail yet. I'm just going to draw a general shape of how I want the hair to eventually sit. Just gonna curve that, and then maybe like that or something. I don't know. Okay, so then we're gonna shift down to the neck, and so I'm just curving it in ever so slightly. But if you end up drawing a merman, then you just make it a little more straighter for the neck. I'm just gonna curve so it meets the ball point. And then this, I'm just gonna have it come out a little more, and then kind of do a slight curve, and then up to that point, and then have this curving down so that way that's the chest, or it goes into the chest, and then you're gonna curve that to join the elbow to the wrist, and then you're gonna do this, and there we go. We're gonna worry about the hands in a minute. I just want to get the general shape still first. Okay, so working on this arm, I'm gonna curve So because her arm is in front of her body, you're just gonna slightly curve this down. So then that reaches the hip point. Because she's leaning back so far, that's why there's such an intense curve there. And then you're gonna finish drawing her chest and then have that. So then she's fully curved in. And then you're gonna go back out just a little bit to accommodate the hips and the butt. And you're gonna go down and just kind of use this as your center point as you're moving around it. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm not zeroing out here. I'm not going straight to the little point because it's gonna curve out almost as if both her feet would be in there. And then I'm gonna just fan out and use this again as a center point and then go out. Curving that a little up just because I want to. And then, so just making sure I'm in frame. And then we can go back into more detail later. We're just gonna go ahead and finish up the mermaid. So faces are kind of hard to do, and I always struggle with them too. So what I'm gonna do is just erase the lines we made. So now it's a little dark, but okay. But that's okay. So I'm gonna curve down, and then there's still faint lines there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you're gonna draw some eyebrows, and then I'm gonna have her just close her eyes and draw her nose, which will be I would say a third of the way. So if you count the eyes and you split the difference to the chin a third way, the third would be about right here. So I'm just drawing that as like her nose. Adding some little defining features, and then I'm gonna draw her lips and have her smile. And then I'm gonna add just a little swoop here for the ear. So when you're drawing the ear, you just want to make sure that the point that the ear is touching the head is aligned with the eye, and then the bottom of the ear aligns with the nose. I'm just gonna adjust a little bit, fix her face a little, and then great. So now I'm just gonna erase a little bit of the lines we made. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to erase all the lines. It's just kind of whatever you would like to change. Okay. So just gonna lighten up these lines. I'm a heavy drawer, so you guys who aren't as heavy-handed as I am will be totally fine. I'm a very heavy-handed person. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and finish the hands. So her hand is facing out, so her pinky will be here, and her thumb will be here. I'm gonna bring the ring finger out, and then have her middle finger and curve up so that her pointer is there. And then for this guy, I'm just gonna have a slight curve. And it'd be great just for you to just hold your hand out in front of you. That's usually how I would normally do it, to get the right kind of structure and angles. And you just draw general shapes, and then go from there. So I'm just gonna have her pinky there, and then curve her ring up a little. And at this angle, you wouldn't see the thumb, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to finish drawing So then I'm just gonna give her a little bikini top. You can do whatever you want. You can do a seaweed top or a pearl top, whatever floats your boat. I'm just gonna add some detailing there, and then there, and then I'm gonna curve slightly down the start of the tail. And you could do just like entirely scales over here or however you want. Yeah, and then for scales you could do like little scallop shapes. You could just do like that or longer swoops. I normally just do the scallop shape and call it a day. I'm gonna make it a little more of a transition though, so if you want to do that you can. If you want to just do a V shape or straight across, that's totally fine too. And this will take a second, so follow along or adjust any part that you want to change while you're doing this, or think about it. I generally like to keep the upper half, so this whole section, as like bigger scales, and then you'll see as I move down, I'll get tinier, or I'll make them smaller, so that way there's kind of a transition. So you're basically just, again, making just like scallop shapes, W's, things like that. Easy peasy. And don't worry, we'll get back to the hair in a minute. I know it's always like the funnest part is to do that, so. So I'm just adding a little bit more of a cluster here just because it curves back, so then there are more scales there. And a little wider here because they're stretching out. And you could also do various colors and then color these guys in. So it's almost like coloring in the lines if you want. So like I said, I'm going to draw smaller scallops. And then as I get to this part, I'm just going to kind of add little curves, but not full scallops, just because it kind of like motions that out. And then gonna just draw some defining lines, but keep it pretty simple. And then we have that. So then moving back to the hair, now that we have our actual mermaid, I'm gonna just define that, add some flowy piece of hair, and then curve this. So this can be however you want it to be. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. Just adding some motion with lines inside the giant shape we made before the hair. And then, yeah. Okay. So now that you have your mermaid, I'm going to go back in. You don't have to do this if you don't want, but if you want to just add a couple more defining lines, just to add some more dimension to it, I'm just going to go in here with a black pen and just make little marks. So then it kind of adds some more shadows. And again, these don't have to be perfect. You can follow some of the lines you made. You can add a couple more. I generally like to use it as an outline, but since again I draw really dark, it's already pretty defined. So then, you know, just adding a couple sections here. You can tell there's already like adding some dimension there, here, and then maybe here, adding another section and intersecting that, bringing that together. And then I'm just gonna do this. So then you still keep her face present, but you're adding some more lines. And then a little bit more here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and define her top so that way you can see it and it's highlighted more. There we go. And then following the shape of her arm. I'm not gonna fully outline her with the pen. I just want to help define the shapes that you've already created with your mermaid. Great. And just a couple lines there. Okay, great. And then you should have something like that, or however beautiful you wanted to make it. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this little draw along, and yeah, I hope it's as beautiful as you are. Okay, bye.